What's going on, everyone? Welcome to week 6 of the CGT. This week we're going up against Mountaih, coach of the Immunity Idols. Big Survivor fan there, and I'm a big Survivor fan too, so it'll be a fun game. On top of the fact that Mountaih has become a very good friend. I remember helping him during his pack run, as well as we've just been talking a lot. Like, he was my top choice to bring into the league once Lux dropped. He's the top coach of the CCS standings. He's wildly entertaining. Please go check him out. And he's just a great guy, like all around good person. Like, this is a game that I've just been like looking forward to having for a long time. And I'm hoping that mentality is going to help me a little bit, because these past 3 weeks I've been kind of going in with the mentality of like must win or like you're a failure type thing, because I'm self-deprecating like that. But against Mountaih, I kind of feel like, okay, I'm 2-3. If I make playoffs, I don't make it. If I make playoffs, I make it. If I don't make playoffs, I don't. It was meant to be. I'm just going to enjoy myself. And that type of mentality is usually what, loosens me up a bit, maybe makes me do a little bit better in draft league games. So for me right now, it's just, let's have a great game against Mountaih. I'm super excited for it. We're going to go into the team builder, and then, which is a really fun team, which is super exciting. And then we'll go into the match. I did make a free agent that is not going to matter this week, but might matter for future weeks. Who knows? I traded out Persian and Marini for Glaceon because I liked the wish support that I don't any longer have with Aromatisse. It's just a heal Belmont. Does double in ice typing, which is a little bit awkward, but I think I can find matchups for Glaceon that, it won't really matter for. Yeah, I think that's it. Other thing is I got one thing of criticism on my videos by a friend the other day regarding maybe the team builders. Let me know what you think of them. If you feel like I should be rushing through them or just like saying what everything is before the game and would rather just like not me go into in-depth detail about it, then that's fine. Just let me know. I just like, is this structure of like intro team builder battle okay, or is it something that I think, should I just be rushing into the battle? Like, what do you all prefer? Let me know. But yeah, we're gonna go up against Mountaih, and I'm gonna show you the team that we are bringing. Okay, so we are here for the team builder against Mountaih. Very scary opponent. You can see his team right below me. He has Celesteela, Bulu, Pex, Lycanroc, Starmie, P2, Umbreon, Flygon, Alolan Marowak, and Meowstic. Scary team because it is extremely offensively capable and it is extremely defensively capable. He has very strong Pokemons like P2, Umbreon, and Toxapex that can, under the right circumstances, wall certain of my Mons. He has offensive potential in an Autonomous Celesteela, Bulu, and most importantly, Starmie and Lycanroc Dusk. Those are two Mons I really struggle to switch into with my team. Celesteela is kind of a mindfuck sometimes because you don't know whether or not it's going to be brought defensive or offensive. That is especially true in this matchup when I think that Celesteela is on paper his best Landorus answer, but I brought Gravity before, so he might be afraid to bring it defensively, so then he might bring it offensively. I'm not entirely sure yet. But it'll be an interesting game for sure. And I think what makes it so interesting is that he can go really in a lot of different directions, right? He can go sort of fast offense with Lycanroc, which I think is the scariest against me. He can go the Trick Room route as he did against Matt O'Shea. He could also just go the really defensive route, which would be another thing that would be kind of interesting to prepare for. So there's a lot of sort of scariness on this team that I have to be mindful of. And team preview is going to be really important in this game more than any other game, because the 6 that he brings might give me a clue to the style of build that he has made, and I'll have to be paying attention to that. One thing, for example, is if he brings both P2 and Umbreon, I suspect Steela is offensive more than I otherwise would, because it makes me think that P2 is built as the Fizz Def answer to Lando, and Umbreon is the Split Def answer to other things. But maybe I could be wrong. He has a very creative way of building, and he's very unpredictable, so we're going to have to work our way around it. I think I built a team that is very capable of being successful here, and if not successful, very fun at least. The first thing we have is a Sharp Beak Rotom fan, which is just hilarious, because just imagine Rotom Fan with a beak. That would be so funny. With Discharge, Air Slash, Pain Split, and Nasty Plot, taking a bit of a speed risk here by hoping that he goes Adamant Bulu, which I've creeped. Jolly wouldn't really have anything that it would want to outspeed, with the exception of Modest Rotom Fan. I'm not sure if he'll do that or not, but it would mean that he would have to go Jolly, which just, again, seems kind of iffy to me. So we are going with a Modest Rotom Fan with a little bit of bulk. Its dual stab is nasty, and what I like about this breaker as opposed to something like Lando, which I'm not bringing this game for the first time, is that the possibility to para things like Umbreon, P2, even Tapu Bulu, allows me to para flinch them down, which sounds really scummy, but when you're dealing with like really fat like this, a turn that they can't recover, or a turn that they can't wish, can be absolutely massive, and that would force them to recover. I can, Nasty Plot on that next turn, and then, chip them down a little bit more. I need to make very sure that I don't let this thing get toxic, because it does weaken its potential quite a bit, but it's something I've been kind of doing in mocks unintentionally, so I'll have to be very careful about that. And yeah, that is the Rotom Fan, which is going to hopefully do a lot of work. I won my first 2 games in which I brought both Rotom Fan and Dragalge, which I'm bringing here, and then I stopped bringing Rotom Fan and Dragalge and started losing. So hopefully now that I have these 2 back, we can turn this loss streak around. Next mon is the first mon I actually built for this team, and that is this set, and I'm so sorry in advance, like, viewing-wise. If this actually goes off, I'll probably, like, fast forward through the actual, like, commentary battle. This is meant to PP stall Pex. The plan is that I block Pex in to my Miltank, I T-Wave it, and I start spamming Seismic Toss. One of 2 things happens, right? Either he just gets kind of unlucky, which is possible in a very stally situation where, like, 40 turns happen, right? Statistically, it might para a few times in a row, and I just S-toss it down, right? Like, I just put myself in a situation in which I'm able to, just keep S-tossing. If Pex gets fully paralyzed once, then I can S-toss again. If it gets fully paralyzed again, then I just kill it. I'm also, with Rest, though, able to PP stall it out of recovers, largely because I have those 2 turns where I don't have to click a button with Rest. Arguably, T-Wave makes PP stalling harder because the full paras could, well, make him not lose a PP, but the Rest giving me 2 free turns guaranteed is just better than that. I was considering running like a Curse, Block, Body Slam Miltank, which was another consideration, but Haze, Toxapex was just a little bit too bit of a concern. So I opted against that and opted for the S-Toss Rest T-Wave Block strategy, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. I think that's going to be a nice option. Even if it doesn't work against Pex, spreading T-Wave against things like Bulu, Steela, and I am Sap Sipper for Leech Seed for Steela, spreading T-Wave against P2, Starmie, I can take hits from Starmie pretty easily, is really nice. And if Alolan Marowak doesn't come, I don't think it has the greatest matchup here, but he absolutely loves that thing, so it might still come. If Alolan Marowak comes, it is very true. I cannot touch it, but I don't think it does much to me. So I'm kind of banking on that as well. In mocks where Alolan Marowak has come, I've never been in this situation where like Marowak like voluntarily comes in on my Miltank, because he won't know my set, so I don't think he will. I don't think he'll risk it. Yeah, that is a Miltank. Next mon is Dragalge. This is likely going to be my lead, but it might change based on what comes. We're holding the Payapa Berry because it allows us to take 1 hit from Starmie. It also allows us to take a Psychic Fangs from Lycanroc Dusk. The bulk, with HP and defense, is able to take a Life Orb Drill Run from Lycanroc if he ends up not going for Psychic Fangs, and going for Drill Run instead for whatever reason. I'm able to live that and KO back with Draco Meteor. And the Spadef is there to just take less damage from Tri-Attacks. Because the scary thing about this set is that if P2 comes in, P2 is a very likely switch in, it traces my adaptability, and then Tri-Attack does a lot of damage. So I need to make sure I like eat those hits marginally well. The special attack stat is just to guarantee the Draco KO against things like Lycanroc and Starmie, which would be very ideal. So this is kind of like a little bait mon, which would be cool. Next mon is Keldeo, Scarf Keldeo. Extremely necessary this game, which sucks because there is a Toxapex that I just can't do shit to, but that's why we have the Trapping Miltank. This Keldeo operates in 2 ways. If he is Modest Celesteela that is autonomized, I outspeed it with Surf. And the bigger reason is because Lycanroc Dusk is an absolute menace to my team. Keldeo is my only rock resist on my team. And it's spooky because Lycanroc is arguably one of the best offensive rock types there is, because it's so fast. Click a Cell Rock, click Stone Edge. I don't have great swap-ins to it. So, to be fair, no one has good swap-ins to Lycanroc. But for Keldeo in particular, I like the idea of having Scarf so that I can just revenge Lycanroc every now and then. Maybe I can switch into a Stone Edge once if I'm feeling risky. But generally speaking, I think that I just need it. Like, I have no other way to revenge Lycanroc, so this is going to be what it is. And in a perfect world, it cleans, right? If I'm able to break the defense and it's just like Starmie left, for example, like Starmie's taking like 40-something% from Secret Sword or Surf or something. So with Rocks up or something like that, I should be able to break it. And basically, once Pex is down, I like how this looks, but Pex needs to be down, as well as Bulu, arguably. Weavile's next. It's decent here. I mean, Steela and Pex and P2 and Umbreon all are kind of for it. I mean, nothing appreciates getting knocked off, to be fair. But this is just here because it revenges Starmie, which is something else I don't have. These two are here basically for revenging ability. But it revenges Starmie, and I need that because if he's a Meteor Beam set or something like that, I want to be capable of revenging it. That's why we have Throat Chop, so we can guarantee it from full if he's like consumed Power Herb. Otherwise, Knockoff looks really solid. I've seen a ton of variants of Starmie recently, but yeah, Knockoff's really good. Ice Shard is also nice because it out-prioritizes Lycanroc Dusk, which allows us to out-prioritize the Accel Rock. So if Lycanroc Dusk is at like 20-30%, we do force it out with an Ice Shard, which is really dope. Really dope. I like it a lot. So yeah, that is the Weavile set, and I think it is going to be solid here. I think it's going to be extremely generic, but I think it's going to be fine. Like, it's what I need. Last mon here is Necrozma. This is just a Spadef tank, hopefully able to get up rocks, knock things off, because he doesn't like getting things knocked off. Like, the swap-ins here are Steela, Bulu, P2, Umbreon. None of them want to be knocked off, especially when I have this Rotom floating around where they really want their item to beat it. Rocks are on this. I originally had T-Wave for Yellow Magic, but I think rocks are a lot more important. They just chip the opponent extremely well. Downside to this set is that if he is a offensive Celesteela, it's a little bit of setup fodder, which is a bit spooky, but I don't know what he would click against me. And if he is Meteor Beam, I knock it off, which means I can just go Rotom the next turn, and I don't think a +1 hit of anything would kill me unless he like gets an Air Slash flinch into something else. So yeah, this is kind of the idea. The Moringa Berry is so that I can swap into a Meteor Beam from Starmie, take 50%, and then recover the next turn. Because in my first round of mocks against my friend Chris, he brought Meteor Beam Starmie, and then Meteor Beam and a Hydro Pump just killed by Max Spadef Necrozma. So I just went the Moringa Berry and made sure that that was never going to happen. So that is the team. Very creative, very cool. If it doesn't work, I can at least say that I brought a team that like I think looks really fun, and I get to finally bring Rotom Fan Dragalge again, which I had a lot of fun with in the first 2 weeks. So we'll see how it goes. The other cool thing about this matchup is it is CCS score number 1 versus CCS score number 2. I don't think CCS score is that super important to determining skill or anything like that. I'm not making a claim like that. I'm more so saying it's just like, I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder how often in the website that has ever happened before, where Seed 1 takes on Seed 2. This might be the first time ever. So, yeah, that is the team. And, yeah, let's get into the match. Let's see how it goes. All right, what is up, everyone? We are here against Mountaih, coach of the Immunity Idols. We're playing this an hour earlier than we scheduled because Survivor's on an hour, and he wasn't even going to watch it, but I was. So, how ironic is that? He did tell us his 6. It's going to be his top 6. Steela, Umbreon, Pex, P2, Starmie, Lycanroc. It makes me inclined to believe that his Steela is offensive, which is going to be a bit scary. Just because he has the bulk already in P2 to Pex and Umbreon. I would be surprised if he brought 4 hard bulky mons. Looking at the 6, I think I'm going to want to bring a lead with probably Dragalge, because it gives me a slow pivot instantly. There's an argument that I could also just straight up lead Necrozma and go for rocks. I don't hate that idea. I don't hate that idea at all, actually. But I think I'm just going to lead Kimchi here. I feel like P2 is such like an obvious lead, or Umbreon or something. But I don't want to get toxic to that quickly. My gut says to lead Necrozma, which is interesting. I'm going to think about this. I want to take my time a little bit more in this game. I need Necrozma for Meteor Beam Starmie. That's about it. I mean, I do want it for, like, knockoff purposes, but, like, I can do that as early as turn 1. I feel like Starmie might lead in this scenario. I don't think Lycanroc's leading against me, so I feel okay leading Necrozma. I don't know why I've thought this way entirely, but my mentality is now saying with this team, I feel like he's leading Pex, Umbreon, or P2, and knowing that makes me think that I don't want to lead Dragalge. If he leads Lycanroc and gets me here, good on him. But there's nothing he can do to, like, kill me. So it'll depend. We'll see. I am going against my original lead plan, but sometimes that just happens. We'll see. I fucking love this guy. I love Mountaih. So it's going to be a good game no matter what. And I'm feeling kind of good. I kind of like my vibes today. I don't feel super nervous or anything. Very cool background. I've never played on this background. He goes Umbreon. Okay, I don't hate this because Dragalge would have been definitively worse. Do I care about getting Toxic here? Not really. I think he's going to go for Toxic. I think my play is always to go for Rocks here. So I'm just going to do that. Rocks. We'll probably see Toxic here. Yep. So there's Toxic. That comes off. It's not the biggest deal in the world. This is Toxic. In a way, I almost prefer it because the passive death makes it so I can't be set up on by, what's it called? And here I think I want to go for a knockoff. He could also just raw click Foul Play here, but I think there's a possibility he baton passes. I don't have a better switch into this though, so I kind of just like knocking off this thing's leftovers or something along those lines. We'll also get to see like what kind of Umbreon it is, maybe with this damage. Like, ooh. Okay, so that does literally 7%. We do see Foul Play here. Maybe that was a bad play, but again, I just don't know. Ooh, that did a lot. Okay. Knocked off its leftovers. That's fine. I think I'm just gonna go Keldeo here. Could also go Canadian. Could also go Kimchi. I want to find a moment to like recover with this back up again. I think I'm gonna go into Keldeo actually. I like that a lot. He might just Toxic again, which would be a little annoying. But it's fine. Toxic Foul Play. Presumably Wish Protect after that. That also makes me think that I can trap this with Keldeo. It actually doubles. Interesting. And to Starmie. Okay. Do I risk this thing being Scarf? I'm not entirely sure yet. Something tells me it's just going to spin here anyway, so let's go for Flip Turn. I don't really know what I can gather from that. Do I have a good swap into this? Not really anymore. Part of me is a little incentivized to go into Weavile here. I'm gonna do that. I don't need the health on Weavile, and I don't think I should die to anything. Goes for Rockspin. That's fine. That does a lot. That was a crit. That might suck, because, well, it would just suck. I think I'm just gonna knock off here, though. I think Pex is an obvious swap in. And I would like to get rid of its helmet, whatever the hell it is. I forgot. Shit. That's a terrible start. I need a miss here. Nope. Alright, I just lost my Weavile. I didn't think he'd be spinning on Meteor Beam. I'm panicking. My play now is going to Kimji and click Draco. Because I should take any one hit. Yeah. So let's do that. I do have the berry. Psy Shock should never kill me, even at +1. Just need to land this here. Cool. So this should go down. I mean, this is a Dragalge Draco Meteor. Yeah. Cool. So a little annoying. We did lose our Weavile in the process, but Weavile doesn't even look that good here. So I'm not too upset about it. We lose... If we can somehow... I think the win con is Keldeo now if we could trap the Pex. That's what I like about this killing Starmie. He could go Steela and Autonomize. That would be not ideal. He goes Edgelord. What is this? Lycanroc? It's fine. I'd like to figure out what this is. I don't think I have a valid swap into this, so I think I'm just going to flip turn. If he goes for Swords Dance, that would be interesting. But I don't care about him killing this because I could just go into Keldeo and click flip turn, and then hopefully Pex comes in, and then I can trap it with Miltank. That's like perfect world scenario, for me at least. I could have perhaps sacked something else in order to not deal with T-Spikes here. Perhaps that's something worth considering. But it is what it is. Played that early game pretty bad, but I think that I can still maybe make something happen with Sacred Sword here if Pax dies. Crunch. Interesting. Do I die to this? I do. So 69 is how much it did. Did I always die to that? I always have to go Keldeo here, but it's just interesting. Yeah, I'd always kill him. But barely, though. 70 with a min roll. I'm going to go for flip turn here. Swaps out. That's fine. I'm between going for T-Wave and block right now. I think I just have to go for the block. Is there a universe in which Rotom is preferable here? The concern is that it just brings in Lycanroc again. Could also go Amethyst here and recover, which is a very interesting option for me. I actually like that marginally more. Does it bring in Umbreon though? What am I afraid of with Umbreon? I just go back into Keldeo on Umbreon. So this gives me a heal, which I like a lot. A heal or a rocks? What's more important here? I think a heal. Did he reveal Helmet? No, I forget. I think he did. Swaps out. Into who? Back into Umbreon. Okay. So we get to Moonlight here, and I think I'm just going to go back into Keldeo. I feel like that's a pretty straightforward play for me. Even if he Toxics, I don't really care. I'm glad I thought that turn out, because I now live a hit from like Lycanroc, which I think is important given I lost my Weavile like that. Let's go into Keldeo here. If he Baton passes, that would be interesting. Foul plays. Cool. Good to see that. It does jack shit. I'm actually thinking about going hard into Miltank here, so it looks like not a real thing. I think I'm going to do that. I also want to take the helmet shit. I think he's going to make the predictable Pax play. Okay, let's go into Pax. Cool. I'm clicking block here. This is my way to win. So he might try and toxic. He might try and do something else. We're going to block and make sure this thing dies. Yes! All right. Awesome. Scald. Perfect. All right, now we're T-waving you. Okay, 1 Scald. Forgot that I had to tally this. He burns, but I don't care. Okay, we're gonna T-wave you now. Scald has 24, Recover has 16. See Scald again. That's 2. Now we start spamming Estos. I don't remember if this thing's helmet, but we should be able to beat helmet, so I'm not too concerned. He has helmet. Okay, I remember that. Sludge Bomb, it's fine. It's going to be marginally annoying because he has 2 attacking moves, which will force me to rest quite a bit. But it's not the end of the world. Let's rest here. This should not be an issue. Even if he takes less time to decide what to do than I do, it should never be a concern. So, cool. If this takes a while, I might just cut and do like a little... Sludge Bomb's here. He accepts the fate. And I don't get poisoned, which is absolutely massive. Alright. So, let's go for it again. It's S-Toss here. That makes me happy. So, Miltank's gonna 1v1 Pex. Fuck you, Simon. I'm great. Cool. So that didn't actually take that long. I'll probably still speed it up, but that didn't actually take that long. I imagine he'll go into Lycanroc here, which I don't mind. It's not the worst thing in the world. Thing about this is I also feel like I need to knock off P2 or at least paralyze it or something. You know what I mean? That's the big thing here. Edgelord. So that's this. I don't think I can afford to do anything else here, right? I think I'm just going to go into or click Thunder Wave. Close combat. That's fine. Interesting. Okay. Now we go Keldeo. Do I click Sacred Sword? I think I click Sacred Sword. Nothing wants to take it. If he's Sash, good on him. If he's Sash, he played very well. But I wonder if he's something like Muscle Band or something funny. Umbreon. Cool. Good to know. This should get 2-shot, I think. I am modest. Yeah. So Keldeo does Keldeo things. Can't figure out what the Stila is. I feel like it's set up. I feel like it's set up. Bitcoin. That's Stila. I have two options. I can either go hard Necrozma here, right? But I feel like that means he's just gonna set up more. Go hard Canadian. No, I can't do that. I lose. He's gonna autonomize here, I think. I think I need the damage. Okay, I need to think about this. I win with this. So if he just attacks me here and I die, I'm fucked. But does he air slash me is the question. I think I'm gonna go Amethyst and Rocks. I think. I could also go Canadian, bait out the Meteor Beam. I like that. I like going Canadian, baiting out the Meteor Beam if he has it, and then going back into Necroz. If he's physical, then I've lost. Ah! He just went for Meteor Beam hard. Oh no. That's horrible. I didn't think he'd do that. Wow, really? That's crazy. Okay. Well, now I lose. That play was amazing. That play was absolutely phenomenal. Holy shit. I thought he was going to autonomize or air slash or something. I didn't think he'd raw Meteor Beam. Wow. Well done. Well fucking done. Man. So if I go Necroz there and he kills me, my concern was that he would have saved the Meteor Beam in the back. Is there any way to win this? Not really. I have to hope that he's not like air slash. That was cool. Well played. I'm not even that mad. That was a great play. That was a great fucking play. Best I can do is Photon Geyser here. Or Rocks. No, I gotta get in range of 2 Sacred Swords on the off chance he misses air slash, so. God, really? Because the thing is like if he... I lived that, right? If he Meteor Beams there on my Necroz, right? Don't I just go into what's it called next and be fine? Yeah, I still stand by the Rotom play because like if he Meteor Beamed, if he Meteor Beams my Necroz, I feel like I go into Rotom and then I'm having a good time, right? But maybe he could have swapped out. That could have been possible. My play is to always Sacred Sword and just hope for crits and stuff. Wow, well played. Shit, I'm not even that mad. I'm 2-4. Like I lose. Like I'm not making playoffs, but god damn, that was cool. I crit. Don't have air slash. Did I fuck up? I might have fucked up. I was never gonna 2-shot with Sacred Sword anyway. Like the only reason that happened is because I got the crit. So the only universe in which this like doesn't work is if Lycan Rock for some bizarre reason doesn't have a Cell Rock. But it will. It should. God damn. Yeah, there's Edgelord. Should I have stalled time more? Probably not. Probably was useless. There's Cell Rock. Do I bizarrely live in a crazy fashion? No. Good game to Mountaih. That Meteor Beam play was fucking phenomenal. Let me see if I can explore that play a little bit more. So, I go Necroz there to sack it off to a Meteor Beam, which then allows me, say he kills me, is +1, that's fine. Then I get to go into my Rotom. Does Rotom kill Stila? Slash, doesn't matter. He also might have not had air slash. He might have had air slash and just not clicked it, so he could secure the 2-0. Like, if he misses, then maybe I win. Okay, so Discharge to Steela does 68 to 81. So I would have had to 2-shot it. Meteor Beam was a roll, which is annoying. That was a roll. That was actually a... that was a 37% chance to Oko if he's max modest. Which sucks. Sorry. He got the roll, whatever. He got the roll that was in my favor on Meteor Beam for Rotom Fan. Oh, wait. No, it isn't. Because it's not counting the +1 special attack. Okay, never mind. He obliterated me with Meteor Beam. Okay, so I go Necroz, and he kills my Necroz. He's +1. Let's say his last 2 moves are Flash Cannon, Flamethrower, just for the sake of argument. He can go for Flamethrower at +1 and do how much to my Rotom Fan? $50 to $59. So if he was Flamethrower and that happened, then I think I would have still lost. If he was Air Slash or something like that, then I wouldn't have. Actually, let me explore this a little bit more. So I would have to discharge. Okay. Full picture here, y'all. I go into Necrozma instead of Rotom. I didn't think he'd Meteor Beam. Like, raw Meteor Beam is crazy. Like, I almost just, like, hit Sacred Sword, which would have worked. You know what I mean? So, yeah, go with your initial instinct is the lesson of the story here. But I don't think I played bad. I think I actually played... Well, I played the start pretty bad. Okay, so I've been putting this off for a while. I go into Necrozma, lose Necrozma. I go into Rotom. He goes one of two things happens. Either he just raw attacks me with Flamethrower, I discharge him, and then likely what happens is he beats me unless I get a discharge para. Because Flamethrower 2-shot, discharge doesn't. If I get a discharge para, then I have to be the next turn, but then Lycan comes in and I click Sacred Sword, and then it would come down to if P2 took 2 Sacred Swords, which it probably didn't. So that was a thing. If I go... But if I got it wrong, right? Say I go Necrozma, and he goes for Autonomize, and then he just starts going for Flash Cannon, I just lose the game. So that was my mentality, right? Like, if he clicked Autonomize that turn against my Keldeo on the switch out, if he did that, I would have lost, because he can very capably just click Flash Cannon. He doesn't have to use Meteor Beam. He can use Meteor Beam when Rotom comes out. So I feel like, given what I expected, it made sense. Meteor Beam was just a great play on his part. It wasn't even like a bad play to go Rotom on mine. I don't know. I'm going to talk to my friends after this who are watching a call, but I don't regret that Rotom play. I think it made a lot of sense, because if he clicked anything except Meteor Beam there, then I think I would have been okay. I wanted to bait out the Meteor Beam to take out the Power Herb. But he had a lot of balls, and he clicked Meteor Beam in front of the Keldeo. So sometimes that just happens. We're 2-4. We're getting our asses handed to us. What do you expect in a league full of champions? I'm not even that mad. Like, usually after these games, like, I'm like really fuming and really pissed off. That was just really fun. Like, I got to use the Miltank I devised, and it killed Toxapex. And honestly, he made like a baller play that like won him the game. So I'm not even that mad. And now I get to play like my 2 favorite people in the community, Slacking and Vepsis, just for like ruining their seasons. Like, I probably don't gain much from it. I can just, like, you know, do it to maybe throw a dent in their season or give them an extra loss or something. At this point, I don't think we're making playoffs. I said this like last week in a very like defeatist sort of way, being like, "Brah, we're not making playoffs." At this point, I think it's going to be very difficult. We'd have to beat Slacking, Vepsis, and Leo, all of whom are at the top of the standings and just playing phenomenally. I'm going to try. Like, once I hit 5 losses, that's when I'm going to probably try and have some fun with it. But I I'm gonna try this next week, see if I can like scrape up a W against Slacking. But I'm not even that upset. I hope these games are still enjoyable despite the absurdly long loss streak. Anyway, I've ranted enough, so it's all right. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next week.